welcome everyone. My name's Pam. Lydia has kindly asked me to come on today to do a little Triggerpoint Pilates Baby and Me postnatal session. So we are focusing on mums who have little children, whether you are maybe 12, 14, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, then hopefully this session is going to be beneficial to you. So if you are joining me, then I'd love to get a little comment from you. I've got some music on, but it's just in the background. And for any instructors, I'm using a Pure Energy Go, and it's a mind body fusion 3, and I'm sure there is discount codes from Nikki, I think she put up, but I can tag her and she can pop that up. So welcome. We are going to start we're going to use a long foam roller. If you don't have a foam roller, if you have a large towel, and just lay that out on the floor, roll it up quite tightly so that it resembles a foam roller, and you can secure that with maybe some baubles or some tape or something. You want it to be long enough that your head can be on one end and your tailbone can be on the other end. We're going to use a Pilates ball. Now the Pilates ball could be a small child's ball. Mine is quite not really solid, it's quite soft. Small child's ball. If you've not got a Pilates ball, then a cushion is fine as well. And then we're going to use 2 massage balls. So these are prickle balls, okay? If you don't have your massage balls, tennis balls can be quite firm. Try socks. So everyone's got odd socks lying around, I'm sure. You just roll up like 4 single socks, 6, whatever gives you just a good size, so that you can feel that in the areas we're going to work. So let's start. Just want to lie on the floor first of all. I always start my classes lying on the floor, just doing a little bit of breathing. We're going to focus a little bit. We're going to use the Pilates ball throughout that, and then we're just going to do a little pelvic floor activations as well. Okay, nice and basic. So just lie down. Make sure you're comfortable on your mat. I'm going to take my hair bobble out as well. And I want you to just bend the knees, place your feet onto the floor, and just try to relax as much as you can through the legs, through the shoulders, and just let the body rest on the floor. If you do feel comfortable enough with your legs out straight and there's no pressure or tension or tightness in the lower back, then that's fine. I'm going to have my knees bent for this one. And I just want you to close your eyes and just notice what's going on with your breath. Don't change your breath in any way. Just notice what's going on with your breath. Is it coming in toward your chest? Or do you feel your ribs taking in the breath? Or do you feel the breath coming all the way down into the abdomen? Is it quite easy to breathe, or do you feel like it's quite an effort? Like you're having to put in that extra little effort to get a breath? And then start to make the breath become a little bit deeper. So inhaling through the nose. And just exhaling through the mouth. And as we are inhaling, your diaphragm is going to be lifting. We'll do a little bit of diaphragm work in a second. And as you're exhaling, your diaphragm is lowering down to let all the pressure come out of the abdominal cavity. So breathing in and breathing out. And then just once more. And relax it. Now grab your Pilates ball or your cushion. You can use these ones, but these are a little bit firmer and it can be a little bit sensitive around here. So I want you to take your fingers under your rib cage and just follow the line of the rib cage up. Now you stay there, I'm just going to come up a second. So I'm following the line of my rib cage, bringing it all the way up to where it meets, and this is at the base of the sternum, okay, or the breastbone, and that's where I would like you to place your Pilates ball or your cushion. Link your fingers together on top. Now, I'm not so much me, but for you, you may need to move your boobs out the way. Not so much me. But if you're bigger boobs than me, then you maybe have to move them. I want you to just take that breath in. Feel the ribcage expand and then just exhale. So as you do this, your ribcage opens. The ball might sink down a little bit. Then as you exhale, it comes back together. Now this time on your next exhale, press down onto the ball. Keep that pressure there as you inhale and as you exhale. Breathing in and out. Now I must say, I wouldn't advise this if you are pregnant. So if you are taking part in this and you are pregnant, just focus on the breath as opposed to pressing down on the diaphragm. So inhaling and exhaling. And just notice if that breath is changing, is it getting any easier? And hopefully you're managing to do this with a little bit peace and quiet around you if you've got kids around. Make this your last breath, and then just let the ball come down onto the floor. Now we're just going to do 3 pelvic floor activations. So taking a breath in, and as you exhale, you want to lift through the pelvic floor, drawing upwards from the pubic bone towards your belly button. Then as you inhale, let the pelvic floor go again. And then as you exhale, draw upwards, connect from the back passage. And then as you inhale, relax off. And then do one more. Exhale and lift. And then inhale and release. Okay? Notice how that felt. Does it feel quite difficult to get the pelvic floor activation, or did it feel quite natural, quite easy to get it? We're going to do it at the end, and hopefully you might notice a bit of a difference. So you're going to come onto your foam roller next. So sitting at one end, or your towel, whatever it is that you're using, grab your Pilates ball or your cushion, pop it in between the knees. Now using your arms, take your hands down to the floor, bending through the elbows, tucking through the pelvis, and just letting the spine rest onto your roller, and make sure your head is on there as well, okay? Now I should have said at the start, this is a sort of like a snapshot of what I would do with a postnatal group. It gives you an idea of some moves that you can do postnatally, like that, the pelvic floor and the diaphragm breath. I would do a wee bit longer, but in this session I want to just give you little snippets of each, okay? So you're lying on the roller. We want to first of all think about the muscles in the lower back. So do you get tightness and tension across the lower back? Have you been to postnatal rehab and you recognise if you've got maybe an anterior tilted pelvis where the lower back muscles can be quite tight? We're going to go through a pelvic tilt. So pressing the lower back down, flattening the lower back onto the roller, and then bring it back up. Not overarching, just back to where you feel most natural. Exhale as you press down, and inhale as you come up. So as I say, we're stretching the muscles in the lower back. We're encouraging a little bit of mobility into the pelvis as well, which is important for management of back pain. It's important for pelvic floor function. So exhale as you press down, and then inhale as you come back up. You've got a little squeeze of the ball with those inner thighs activated, but not too much. Just holding the ball in place. And then this time as you exhale, press down and then lift up. Think about each vertebrae coming off of your roller. Lead with the pubic bone rather than the hip bones. And then lower it back down. So you want the pelvis to be tucked under. So tuck it under now, and then lift with that pubic bone coming upwards. We only want to really go up as high as we feel the glutes switch on. We're not wanting to do a shoulder stand or put the hips right up into a full bridge or anything. We're just activating into the gluteal muscles, and we're just mobilising the pelvis and the spine. Okay, do one more of those for me. Exhaling as you come up, and then inhale as you come down. From there, just let the ball go, move it out of the way, sliding one leg out, flex the foot when you're at the end, point through the toes and then bring it back in. Do the same leg for me. Taking it out, and then flex, and then down. And then you're going to add the opposite arm comes over. So you're starting to add in the upper body at the same time. Now you don't have to touch the floor with that hand, just let it go as far as is comfortable. Take your time going over, flexing the foot, and then bringing it back. Do this one more for me, and then leave the arm and the leg there. Just let the arm rest. If it's too uncomfortable resting on the floor, just rest it maybe on top of the ball. Let the foot flop to the sides. You might feel your pelvis sort of shift slightly. The mid part of your back might raise off the floor, but that's okay. We just want to get that little stretch from the hand all the way down towards the foot. Bringing the arm in first, and then turn the toes to point up and bring them back in. Let's swap sides. So we're going sliding out, flexing there, and then pointing and bringing it back in. Let's go again. So just that nice, that full body stretch can feel really good. And again, then we start to add that arm. And remember, it's not a competition. You don't have to get the hand down towards the floor. You might feel a wee bit of increased pressure in between the shoulder blades, just from when the shoulder blades moves against that roller. Then this time we're going to stay there. Leg goes up, arm goes up, rest the arm. Remember, it can rest on something, and then let the foot flop out to the side. Just relax. My thoracic spine, the middle part of my back, raises up a little bit more on this side than the other side. You might notice a similar difference. And then bringing the arm in, turning the toes to point up, and then back into centre. This time, let's keep the legs as they are. We're going to reach the arms up and over. Reach them up towards the ceiling. Keep the arms reaching there, but draw your shoulders back. So we're not bending through the elbows. We're reaching up. And imagine you are pinching that foam roller in between your shoulder blades. And then all the way up. And then bringing it back down. And then go one more time. Now for mums, draw the shoulder blades together and then just come back to where you feel most comfortable. Open the arms out. So for mums, we maybe get some pain in the neck, the shoulder, down through the spine into the lower back. Bring the arms round. Quite often our shoulders are rounded due to carrying the heavy loads of babies or toddlers, which means the muscles in the front of the body, the chest, the front of the shoulders, can be quite tight. So one of the things I wanted to do today was to ease into there. So crossing the arms over and then taking it out nice and wide. A little rest with the hands on the floor if you can. Do that once more for me. And then the arms are going to stay down. And because you've got the torso raised ever so slightly on the roller, you can get more of a stretch coming into here, into the chest and the shoulders. If that feels okay, you can slide the arms up a little bit higher and feel that stretch coming in. This is one of the stretches I always do with my postnatal mums. Raise it up just a little bit higher, feel that stretch, feel that pull. We don't want our spine to come offset, we don't want the spine to start to arch, so if it does, just come back a little bit. And then we're going to circle the arms. I love this one, I call it the angel. Bring the thumbs towards each other, palms facing upwards, and just circle, reaching down towards the toes. Oh, I had a big clunk there, did you feel anything? Clicks, crunching, clunking, all the above. Tick, tick, tick. And it's not about getting your arms against the floor, it's just about getting that movement into the shoulders, feeling those shoulder blades pressing in towards your roller and easing into the back as well. Let's go one more there. And then lower it all the way back down. Just resting the hands on the floor. Then we're going to roll off. So come onto the side of your roller, okay? Pop the roller away and just notice, how do you feel when you come down? How do you feel when you come down onto the floor? Hopefully it feels nice. Hopefully it feels comfortable. We're going to come up to sit. No, sorry, I'm going to do your glutes first. So grab your massage balls or your socks, whatever it is that you're using. Pop them underneath the gluteal muscle. So if you stay there just now, I'll show you. Right in the middle of the glute. So you've got the main, excuse the view here, you've got the main part of the glute, so you want the ball to go in here, okay? If we take it a little bit higher up, it might feel a wee bit more awkward, so we don't want it up in towards the back of the pelvis, right into the middle, the meaty part of your glutes, okay? And we're there, so just pop them in. Set your feet quite wide, and you want your knees to be able to go out wide as well. Taking a nice breath in, and breathe out. Just let the glutes or let the hips sink down into the balls. Yeah, so make sure all those sensory organs are starting to get woken up a little bit, because it's like, oh yeah, what's that pressing against me? So just let the body sink down. And if you wanted to do a little roll around on them, just to spread that love around the glutes, then you can do. Okay. Finish in the middle, and from there taking a breath in. Exhale and just let the knees fall over to one side, and then come back into centre and swap over to the other side. Okay. It's like window wipers. So leg comes over, and then the leg goes back. Now what I want you to think about is the balls. Feel the glutes still in contact with the ball. So I don't want you to come all the way over here. I want the glutes still on. So we're getting some movement and mobility in the spine, the lower back, a little bit in the thoracic, and you're creating that compression onto the gluteal muscles, which is going to help with the fascia. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to rehydrate the fascia. The fascia is the connective tissue that lines everything, so that's lining around the gluteal muscles, and hydrating in there is going to let it move a little bit easier. It's going to waken up the muscle a little bit more, so that improved mobility, increased relaxation will all have a positive effect. Okay, again, I'm just running through a little snippet of some of the exercises. Normally we would do a little bit more of this in class. Bring your feet and your knees together. You may want the balls to come up a wee bit higher or out slightly wider. Come onto the toes and then just let the knee fall out to the sides and then come back in and do that same leg. Okay, take it out to the sides and then draw it back in. If you've got the ball out slightly wider, you'll feel that gluteus medius muscle getting a little bit of the benefits as well. Okay, from there, swap sides. I'm just doing 3 on each side. Take your time, coming back in. And quite often when I do this move, we would maybe do leg slides like we did when we were on the roller, or we would lift the leg, single leg, and do it to the side, but I'll just give you one stage today. Excellent, and then bringing it back in. Pop the heels back down, then move the balls out of the way, and just notice if there's any change in the gluteal muscles in the back of the pelvis or anything like that. Hopefully there is, hopefully it feels a bit maybe softer, flatter against the floor. Roll over onto your sides and then bring yourself up. Grab that Pilates ball. Now if you're more comfortable sitting on a chair for this, please feel free to do that. We're going to pop the ball under the arm, so just at the side where your bra line sits, at the side there, okay? This hand is going to come onto the elbow, if you can see, so I'm going to pull onto the elbow and squeeze inwards. The other thing we have to think about is this shoulder, so we don't want it up here, yeah, we want it down. And we want to try to feel the shoulder relax and the chest relax a bit more. So pop the hand here, taking a breath in. As you exhale, pull the elbow in. Keep that pressure, inhale and exhale. Keep the pressure, inhale and exhale. Keep the pressure, inhale and exhale, and then relax it there. Notice if you feel any difference on this side, the chest, the shoulder might feel a little bit more mobile. Pop the ball in to the other side, and this is very good for when you're sitting feeding. Regardless of how you're feeding your baby, you're still sitting feeding. So if you are bottle feeding, if you are breastfeeding, you're still going to be contorted slightly in some of the positions. So this can be quite nice just if you feel that you're in this position holding baby a lot of the time, yeah, or across here. So it's really good for that. Pop the ball under, bring it in, grab the elbow and pull it inwards. Breathing in. Exhale, apply the pressure. So pull the elbow. So I'm using my arm to pull the elbow in. Keep the pressure, breathe in. Keep the pressure and breathe out, and make sure your shoulders are low. Again, breathe in. And breathing out. And we'll go for one more. Breathe in. And breathing out. And then just relax it there. Again, just notice any difference. Do you feel you've got more space between the arms and the side of the body? Can your shoulders move a little bit more? Hopefully you feel a little bit of change. We're going to come down onto your, we'll come down and we'll do your underarm, and then we'll do the back. So the ball is going to come under the arm. So you're lying on your side, pop the ball in there and just rest the head down, okay? Knees coming in line. If you do have pelvic pain still, sacroiliac pain, pelvic pain, you may want the Pilates ball in between your knees. Hold on to get it. There we go. That might feel more comfortable for you, okay? Particularly if you're kind of more earlier postnatal. Popping the hand down in front, then you're just going to rock forwards and rock back. So when we do the work under the arm, this will help to ease into the chest muscles, It eases into the muscles of the back, everything around the shoulder. Very good for lymphatic drainage, which helps remove toxins from the body. And quite often I always warn my ladies that when we do this one, you may need to pee after it. Slide the arm forwards and then slide it back. Slide the arm forwards and then slide it back. So really feel that movement into the spine. There may be some clicks and clunks as well. One more time, this time just hold it there. The top leg is going to straighten out and just go slightly behind you. So my ball's coming away. Just slightly behind, so that you get that diagonal stretch from this hand all the way down the arm, down the spine, into the hip, into the opposite foot. Well, it's actually the same, the right side, but it feels opposite because it's diagonal. And then just bringing the arm in, bringing the leg in, and then just remove that ball, coming onto your back just for a second. That arm and leg just lengthen out, okay? And then bring it back in. Moving on to the other side, so I'm going to shift over so you can see me, but if you've done that move, you know it before, then feel free to face the opposite way. Ball comes under the arm, Pilates ball or cushion in between the knees if you feel, and then just get into position. Pop the hand onto the floor and just rock forwards and back. Oh, and I get a shoulder click on this side when I do it. So forwards and then back. Nice and gently. And then let's slide that arm. So the arm comes forwards and then comes back. Now if you feel any pressure in the abdomen as you're doing this one, just don't reach so far forwards, because you do need your abdominal muscles to activate to bring you back. But if you have got diastasis or you're early postnatal, then actually just sticking with the rock forwards and back and the hand staying there is completely fine. Stay forwards, reach that arm out. The leg comes out and then it goes just slightly behind, just slightly. I always think about this one as like somebody's wringing out your spine. That's what I visualise when I do this one. How nice does that sound? You're trying to soften and relax everything, so I don't want to be holding here. Just let it all go. Just let everything go. Enjoy the time for you. Sliding the hand back in, sliding the knee in, and roll over onto your back. Now that arm and leg are just going to stretch up and over. And then bringing it back down. Stay where you are. I'm just going to find my other ball. And we're going to do some moves for the muscles in the back. So we've just got a couple of minutes left. So we're going to pop the balls into the top edge. So your scapula, your shoulder blades go along the top, yeah? So we want the balls to be in there. I'm just going to pop my hair out again. You always plan too much for the session, can never fit it all in. So as we're there, you want to feel that pressure onto the top edge of your shoulder blades. The arms are going to, fingers, palms facing inwards, and then take the arms all the way up and over, and then bring them down. So you'll see the aim isn't to get all the way down towards the floor. The aim is just to move into the shoulders, and you might be aware of some clicking or crunching, maybe more on one side than the other as you do this, and just breathe as a comfortable pace for you. Now if you wanted to, you can tuck under and lift into a bridge and stay there. So when you've got your hips lifted, it'll be more pressure, more compression coming in to the massage balls, okay? As long as it's comfortable for you, as long as you've not got any pain at the front of the pelvis, the back of the pelvis, or the lower back. If you do, then just keep the hips down on the floor. This time you're going to circle it around. So taking the arms up and over, turn the palms to face the ceiling, and then circle it round. Again, taking it up and over. So if you're here, your gluteal muscles, your hamstrings and your lower back will all be working isometrically when you're here. So there's no movement, they're just contracting. And then just let the arms rest, let the hips come back down if they're up, and then go for some shoulder circles. Now when the ball's there, it restricts movement just slightly, but I want you to just feel that movement against the shoulders with the ball. And then slowly make it bigger, but slow it down. So you've got big arm circles now. Click, clunk. Change in direction, taking it the other way. Nice big movement through the shoulder. And then one more time. Just relax that arm down, and then the other side. So shoulder roll first. You can't see this side because I'm faced the other way, but we did it on that side. So circle the shoulder around. Smaller movement, so it might be a little bit quicker. Then when you add in the arm, just make that a little bit slower. And sound effects are very much welcome in this class. Very much so. Nice big circle rounds. And then just rest it down. Perfect. Move those balls out of the way. I would normally aim, if I was doing full class, I would aim to do at least 2 moves for that area. And just notice how the body feels in comparison to how you felt at the start. Can you lengthen the legs more now? Whereas previously you'd maybe just keep the knees bent. Do you notice a difference at all? Last little bit I want to do is pop one ball right into the back of the pelvis, so right in the sacrum, into the centre. So the ball's there, and then this one here either comes right at the top of the neck where it comes in toward the skull. There's a little groove point in there called the occiput, or the occipital groove. You can rest the ball there. Now, some of my girls aren't that keen on this because of the spikiness of the ball. So you can either move it down, so it's behind the neck, or you can move it down so it's in between your shoulder blades. If you're in between the shoulder blades, your chest will be a little bit raised. Okay? So as you're here, just take a breath. Inhaling and exhaling. And do you feel any difference in the body now in comparison to when you started? How do you feel in your mind now? Is your mind a little bit clearer? Do you feel happier? Do you feel accomplished because you've taken that time out for yourself? Breathing in and out. And just soften everything. Relax onto the floor.
Currently,
and then just one more breath.
It's 9 degrees Celsius with cloudy skies.
I think Alexa's talking to me now. Remove that ball from under the head. Remove the ball from under the pelvis. And again, just notice the difference. 3 pelvic floor activations. Okay, taking that breath in. Exhale. And activate. So you're drawing up through the pelvic floor, breathing in and breathing out. Think of the contraction coming from the back passage to give you a stronger feeling. Yeah, one more time. Do you notice that you've got a better pelvic floor activation after doing that, so that you've had the fascial release around the pelvis? Has it made an impact onto your pelvic floor work? Okay. From there, you're just going to roll over onto one side, come over onto your hands and your knees. And whatever you feel like here, if you want a little bit of a movement side to side, if you want a little arch up and down, then do what feels good. You're going to come up to stand. So whether you go through a downward dog type position, tucking the toes under, coming here, or you want to step forwards, go into a forward fold. I'll move back a wee bit. I might need to tilt my screen a little. And you're going to roll up. So soften the knees. Roll through the lower back, then the upper back, middle back, then the upper back. Head comes up last, then do that again. So chin comes down, roll all the way down towards the floor. Let me just tilt you ever so slightly. I moved this a bit further forwards. So it's giving me less space. And then just do one more there. So tuck the chin round through the spine, rolling downwards, and then rolling upwards. And then just take a breath in when you're at the top. And then as you exhale, bringing the arms round, and then just give yourself that well-deserved clap. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. If you did manage to do some with me, just leave me a little comment so I know. And I hope that was helpful. It gave you a little snippet, a little idea of what postnatal Triggerpoint Pilates is like.